welcome to the fourth floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor. Guys, we're here for Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics. I don't know why the hell we're here.
It's pretty clear we're not planning on doing this tonight, Jonathan.
We shouldn't be doing a Game 7, but here we are. Hopefully we don't get
Jonathan made plans. He did not expect to be here. He
definitely did not. Absolutely. But we're still here, guys. So before we get anything, make sure you guys, Game 7, obviously ESPN isn't covering anything Miami. Make sure you guys follow us here on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe, do all that good stuff. And make sure you guys hit up our primary sponsor here in the pregame show, which is Mark Brown PA. So go to markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com. He'll give you a free consultation to help plan with your estate planning. He's also a real estate lawyer. So if you have any real estate issues you want to take care of, you'll make sure that he'll take care of that for you. Give him a call, 954-866-8513. And you can also get, like I said, a free consultation with him. And he's a Heat fan. So make sure you give your business to a Heat fan, not any Celtics fans, not anybody else. And if you're young with a family and you want to make sure that everything is taken care of in a crazy world that we live in. So make sure you hit up Mark Brown, get your estate planning going, and make sure you support our Heat fans. Of course, we got prize picks as well. Promo code for that is 5. Spell it out, FIVE. Will match your initial deposit up to $100. Guys, that's up to 20 free plays. That's up to a quarter of the season or the entire playoffs thus far. So make sure you guys maximize your money if you're playing daily fantasy. You don't have to worry about drafting a player and them getting hurt, except maybe during their game. But you don't have to worry about season-long drafts. Use that promo code 5, spell it out, FIVE, and we'll double your deposit up to $100. Guys, we're here for Game 7 of the Heat versus the Celtics. I'm in a backyard kind of area right now, just chilling. But we have Timmy, we got boss man Ethan joining us for Game 7. Not the situation we want to be in. Ethan, let's get into it right away. Obviously, last game, our two big stars were the guys. Not maybe that's his last game, but the common theme over the course of these three losses are our two stars not showing up. In my opinion, Bam Adebayo should not be getting blocked at the rim by Al Horford. He needs to be winning that matchup 100 out of 100 times. So what do you expect to see out of our two stars tonight, given the circumstances of the Game 7?
Well, a couple things. My best analysis was actually provided tonight by my daughter and by an iguana, so I don't know that anybody should be listening to me. However, when it comes to both guys, let's start here. With Jimmy Butler, I've been told that there is no new injury. So I know there's been a lot of speculation about that, but I've talked to a half dozen people inside and outside the organization, and I keep being told he's fine. I'm fine. You know, he's had an ankle situation, he's had a knee situation, but I don't think that this is physical. Could it be fatigue? It could be fatigue. I've heard he's dealing with some personal stuff as well. That tends to happen in life, and we tend to look past that sometimes. So I don't want to get into any specifics of that. Even if I knew, I wouldn't share it. I'm just saying that whatever it is, okay, he needs to set the tone tonight. There's just no way around this. Like, this is not about, look, what Caleb and Gabe and Duncan, and to a much lesser extent Max, have done is great, okay? But this is not about them right now. And you cannot count on Kyle Lowry. And to be honest, you cannot count on Bam Adebayo offensively. So you are at the point of this season where this is about Jimmy in the first 6 minutes. It really is. Like, this season is going to be determined by Jimmy Butler in the first 6 minutes. And that's a good point. He didn't post on social media all day. He's been on a posting spree throughout the playoffs, and it stopped. And here's the thing that really jumped out to me in the last game about Jimmy. There was a technical foul opportunity during the game. He always takes them. Like, he does what LeBron used to do, which is, even if he's not the best, he's a really good free throw shooter, much better than LeBron. But even when he's not the best free throw shooter on the floor, LeBron used to do this to Chalmers all the time. Sometimes he would defer to Ray, okay? But, like, Jimmy doesn't typically defer. And he gave Max Strus the tech, and he missed it. And that told me everything. Like, something is not right with his mindset or whatever, because it does not require a lot of physical exertion to take a free throw. So where I'm at with him is he needs to, whatever it is that he's dealing with, he has to push through it for one night. And he has to push through it for the first 6 minutes, and he's got to set the tone, and then the others have to follow. Because you cannot expect, okay, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, even as great as he's been, and he will likely be the Eastern Conference Finals MVP if the performances hold up from the past few games. You cannot expect them to save you right now. You cannot. It has to be about Jimmy first and Bam second, and that's where we're at. And look, this is not a great Celtics team. I'm just going to say this. because that should have been a blowout the other night. It really should have. I mean, if you look at all the circumstances, there's no way the Heat should have been in that game. And that's not even talking about the two critical officiating plays. The one, the goaltend on Bam that somehow led to like 8 points, and then the other one on the other side, the Jimmy Butler offensive foul, okay, and others, okay. And then you also look at the way that Jimmy and Bam played. Like, there's no way that a great team wouldn't have stepped on the Heat's throats in the third quarter and been up 25. They weren't. It's not a great team. That's not a building that is impregnable. They've won there this series twice. So this game can be won, but it's about Jimmy. It's about that's the conversation we're going to be having after this thing.
So, Timmy, let's get to the first quarter that Ethan talked about. Boston, I think the last 2 games have outscored us in the first quarter. And then from there, really haven't played their best basketball. They come out really hot in that first quarter, and then really from there, they kind of loosen up the screws. And then the fourth quarter, they start really falling apart. So what does Miami need to do differently outside of Jimmy Butler obviously spearheading the attack in the first quarter? What does Miami need to do differently versus the last 2 games in that first quarter to make sure we don't let up what we did last 2 games?
I don't know if it's a sense of urgency or carelessness, but those turnovers, man, like every time they turn the ball over, I get back spasms and back pains. Like, take better care of the ball. I mean, at this point, we're in like what game, like almost 100 right now, or give or take. Like, you know what you're going to do, and it was very simple. I think Anthony Chang said it: make your threes. He'd have been generating the looks. I still don't know how in the world the Heat, like Ethan said, how were we in that game? It was the Gabes and the Duncans and the Calebs hitting their threes. I think at some point the Heat were like 9 for 16 from 3, but like 9 for like a million from the 2-point range, and the type of tools are missing. As I say in pregame every time, when Bam thinks, you get trouble. If Bam has an open shot, just take the midi. Like, that's a better shot than you forcing it to the rim and getting the turnover, because it's really turnovers, especially the home building. You know how the crowd's going to go. They want to make back-to-back finals. They want to do it for Joe. They want to save the Jays. All these things, like, that energy is going to be there. You can't break that crowd up with turnovers. Like, Ethan said pretty well. This is not a great team. Tatum was a hell of a player. They have high. I think Ethan likes the word alpha role players, but they have high-level role players. You can't give them life, and it's just so deflating. And I don't know what it is with Jimmy. Like, you can see after the turnovers, like the sulking of the shoulders, the walking back up the court. Like, did the 3-0 lead, did the actual favoritism and the good things get to the head? Like, I know, this is the Kendall.
He's lost his edge, Timmy. I mean, he's lost his edge.
That's what it feels like. Like, he got so used to the gloating and the posting the memes every day.
He's not a good front runner, and that's part of this. But again, I hearing there's other things going on, but like, right. I don't think it's physical, other than maybe fatigue. But I think it's really more sort of the mental stuff that he's dealing with, and also some of the stuff Brady's talked about, which is that they're throwing more bodies at him. And you got to give Missoula some credit. They're throwing bodies at the right time, and then you take a look at what they're doing to Bam. They're swiping down low at him, and they don't have a counter for that.
So yeah, right. They're no longer jumping the Jimmy pump fakes, and they're swiping down the bomb, which is like that. If Jimmy isn't getting the pump fake, and then he burns like 5 seconds trying to twist in the pivot, and if he doesn't get a travel call, he gets a turnover or he gets a bad shot. It's been 3 games. We won 3, lost 3. This is now a 0-0 NCAA Final Four type of situation. Win or go home. And like Gabe said, we make history either way. Become the first 8 seed to make it to the finals in the full season, or you become the first team to blow a 3-0 lead.
No, it's true. And again, one thing, and I'll pivot back to Jonathan. Last 3 minutes of the game, Jimmy put his head down and went. And that's what Brady was talking about. Stop with the pump fakes. It's not working anymore. So that's an adjustment that he needs to make. Jonathan, sorry, go.
No, you're good. Pull up the donation real quick, Manny. But as always, guys, thanks Andrew Green for the $4.99 dono. He said I was in the wrong room. Appreciate you touching on the Jimmy stuff. Appreciate you with the $4.99 dono, my man. Make sure you guys, if you have any comments or questions you want to drop, make sure you guys use that super chat. I'm about to get run over by a car real quick. But,
we don't want you to get killed tonight. We may have a final series to cover.
We should be good. So, guys, make sure you go to prizepicks.com. Use that promo code 5 to double your deposit up to $100. I'm going to let Ethan take it from here with the prize picks. and then close out the show. But I'm going to give my prediction real quick. I don't think Miami gets it done. I don't like what I've seen over the last. I have no guts right now. My anxiety has been killing me the last 2 days. So this is the face of no guts right now. Hopefully, I get burned by it. I'm a Heat fan, so at the end of the day, I hope we win. I don't think we win. I just don't like the energy that I've seen out of this team in the last couple of games. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a Heat fan. I hope I'm wrong. Let's go Heat. Appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate Jonathan having the guts to be here all year. I'll go last here, and then we'll get to a couple prize picks. Timmy?
And I'm saying take us home.
Manny's shaking his head. Manny had no guts the other night. He was right.
Jimmy called the Marcus Smart thing. I mean, sorry, Monty called the Marcus Smart thing. He had 3 threes in the first quarter.
I do want to say, though, the only thing that has me in a positive mood was that the Boston Celtic Twitter decided to post a lot of Jimmy antics throughout the series, including the timeouts. And so maybe there's a turn of the turns, man. But we really need Jimmy and Bam to not go 8 for 4.
Mostly Jimmy.
We need them to
Mostly
go.
Jimmy.
Mostly Jimmy.
Mostly
I think Ethan, you said it best. He has to set the tone.
Yeah.
Has to set the tone. And I think everybody else will follow. Because if we expect Caleb, if we expect Gabe or anybody else to do that, it's kind of a tough ask in a game 7 on the road. So
it is, and it's a legacy game for Jimmy. Not that it's going to defeat everything that he's done, but we won't remember this postseason the way we should.
Right.
If he goes out now. Context should matter, but it's not going to.
I have one question for you before prize picks. Why is Zeller playing and not Highsmith?
I think he played Zeller in the last game because he's trying to keep Robert Williams off the boards because he knows that that's a problem. And so he's trying to match some of his minutes. I would play Highsmith in this game. I would play Love over Zeller in this game. It's nothing against Cody, but I just don't think there's too much risk there of him having a bad 4 or 5 minute run that buries you. It's not quite
on the pick and roll like that game 4 when Tatum just walked by him. What was Zeller doing on that pick and roll?
Yeah, you can't. You can't tonight. I think this. We're going to talk. Obviously we can talk rotations. I said he should start Caleb in the last game. He did. It was the right move. He'll do it again. To me, it's also with Kyle. Like if Kyle's bad for the first 5-6 minutes, then that's it. Like you cannot. I mean, he gave him 17 minutes the last game, something like that. You can't stay with him. This championship experience thing. Look. Kyle did it last year in Game 6 up there. He was tremendous when he was having a worse postseason than he's had now. But his last 4 games have been atrocious. Like it looks like he's hit the wall physically.
Whatever he did with that treatment, it's worn off.
It's worn off. Yeah, no, he's hit the wall. Look, this is why they needed to finish this thing in 4 when they had the opportunity when they're up 9 in the third quarter, and then we'd be having a different conversation. Yes.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. A different conversation. I mean, the Panthers are sitting at home still waiting for an opponent, not playing until Saturday, and the Heat have put themselves through a grinder here. I'll give you the things that give me confidence tonight and the things that don't. The things that give me some confidence tonight is this team does play better collectively for whatever reason as underdogs. They do. They don't play well as front runners, and regardless of what the national media was saying, when you're up 3-0 in a series, you're a front runner, and they don't handle that well. I think also Jimmy recognizes the legacy play here, and he also knows that his opportunity to win a championship is very short. He can't count on the Heat to make big moves this offseason. They don't have a lot of flexibility to do so. So this is now. He said he wanted to be back here. I do think that whatever Jimmy is dealing with, you will see the best of him tonight. I do think that. I'm a little concerned about the role players replicating what they did in the last game. That may end up being the difference, but they have no chance unless Jimmy sets the tone tonight. I'll say this too. I think Eric Spoelstra's probably held a couple things back. I know that sounds crazy because they should have closed out this series, but he really has not made a ton of adjustments the past 2 games. And if you look historically with him, the longer that a series goes, he will throw some wrinkle out there that you were not expecting. I thought the zone actually was somewhat effective in the last game. You look at the numbers, it worked. I don't know how much he'll use it this time. He could go back to using Bam up top as more of a facilitator, passer, running some inverted pick and rolls with Jimmy. I think that that's something that we could see tonight also. As far as a result, before the series, I said it would go 7. I leaned Celtics. The way that the series has gone, obviously the momentum of this series is real. We can't get around it, okay? But I do think that if Jimmy Butler can come out and set a tone in the first 6 minutes tonight, that the Heat can win this game. I do. I think this is going one of 2 ways. I think it's either a Celtics blowout or it's a Heat win. we're going to know very early whether or not this is just too much for them. And I understand it if it is. But that's really where it's at. And this comes in from Carson. Those 2 Duncan misses really hurt me. They hurt me too, because honestly, this should have been a Duncan redemption story going into the finals, because he was great in that game. And I'll give him credit too. Unlike the Dylan Brookses of the world and others, Duncan stood there, waited for us in the locker room to address the 2 misses on a night that honestly, he was one of the few reasons they were still in that game. So I was rooting for Duncan there. Maybe he gets another opportunity tonight, and that gets the prize picks. I'd play him over 8.5 points. Duncan Robinson. I think he gets the minutes tonight. I'd play Jimmy over on the points tonight, on the field goal attempts tonight. Play him over. I actually made an idiotic pick, and I picked Bam over on points, rebounds, and assists. I don't have the faith, Timmy, to play him over on points. I don't. But I think that there will be enough in his game tonight. There's going to put more on his plate in some different ways. And look, Eric Spoelstra cannot give Bam fewer than 40 minutes tonight. And my only concern about that, Timmy, is you've got Scott Foster and you got Tony Brothers. And the worst case scenario for the Heat tonight, if I'm trying to fix a game, and I'm not saying they're doing that, but we know the record, the best way to fix this game tonight is give Bam 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. If that happens, they're cooked.
For sure. You'll have to put Jimmy at the 5 at that point.
Right. What do you think? They winning?
Something just feels so biblical about missing the shot. It's exactly a year from the day.
Yeah.
Inverted. They talk about the champagne in our locker room. We lost the game on the Jimmy miss. I just feel like we're gonna win the game on the Jimmy score in the locker room, celebrating their floor. I always think about we beat the Mavericks in 06. They beat us in 11. Eric Dampier on both sides. I just feel like it just happened so much with this franchise. Like 99 was it? What year was it that we lost as a number 1 seed to the Knicks?
99.
That year, now we are the 8th seed gonna spoil the set. Like I just feel like it's some good karma about to come back this way.
So you like him?
I like the. I think Jimmy knows is on the line. And shout out to the role players, the ones who we complained about all 82 games this season about Trey Duncan, why is Gabe playing, Max can't defend. They have showed up this series.
Yep.
We have been complaining about the stars. So I don't think that they shrink. I think they either want to play to stay with the Miami, play for immortality. I think they will carry Jimmy, and Jimmy will take us home.
Lead us, Jimmy. Take us there. Have a good night, everybody.